Okay, here we go. As always, Armchair Engineer 85. So today what we're going to do today, we're going to do a little bit of track tensioning. Now, snowmobile track tensioning is very important because if you tension your track too tight, it'll wear on your components like your Hyfax sliders. It'll wear those out. It's hard on your chain case. It basically moves up the entire chain from your track to all your consumables right back to the engine. So too tight is no good. If you run it too loose, same thing. It can be hard on your drivers. The drivers can skip, especially in deep snow. I know this firsthand, guilty as charged. So today what we're going to do is we're going to go over how to tension a track. Now they do make a special tool for this. There's a company called Woody's and they make a really nice little track tension tool. It's about $100 before tax. But it's not that I'm opposed to this tool. It's just I've got a lot of other things I got to pay for right now. One being I got to get a windshield for this. So I would rather spend the $100 or more on that, especially when I can make do with other means. But basically, what we're going to do is we have to have a load rating. So what I've done is I've got some plates here. A lot of people either you can have a dumbbell or you can have free plates or free weights or whatever. And we can use it to weigh down the track because we have to have a certain amount of force, and then we can measure the belt deflection. So according to the official Skidoo manual, it ranges from 13 pounds to 19 pounds. That's a bit of a wide open window. On the internet, a lot of people run 16 pounds. My guess is it's in between the two. That's why people do it. And then we have to measure the belt deflection at 16 pounds because that's what we're going to go with. We have to measure it. And according to the official BRP manual, the belt deflection is 1.26 inches, which is just slightly above 1.25 inches. According to a lot of guys on the internet, they run about 1 3/8 inches. And my guess is that once you tension this up, basically what you have to do is once you tension it up, you run it a bit or you go take it out once you got everything locked in, and then you come back and you check it again. So I think a lot of guys maybe run it at 1 3/8 inches, knowing that it's going to back off a bit, and that'll get it closer to the official 1 3/8 inches. Okay, so first thing you got to do is you got to go on both sides, pop the caps off the axles, and then you have to loosen both sides at the same time. I basically had to have 2 wrenches, one on each side, and loosen off your axle. Another thing you can do is with a soft mallet is you can tap the back here and that'll push the axle once you get the nut loose, and it'll push it a bit. So sometimes it sticks, and then you can basically, it'll loosen that axle off. So on each side you have a tensioner. You got one there, and then you got one in the same spot on the other side. You can see it right through there. So what I like to do is I like to go with a socket or a wrench, do 3 revolutions on each side, go over to the other side, do another 3 revolutions, and then come back. Do that about 2 or 3 times until you see a nice sag in your track. And obviously here, I've got it jacked up on the back. So I've got more than enough here that now I can add my weight, and then I can start doing my measurements. Okay, so I got 3 5-pound plates, and then I got this tiny little 1-pound plate right here. I don't know where, yeah, right there. 1 pound. So I'm just going to put them in here and then see how much it weighs it down, and then I'm going to adjust accordingly. So whether you're using the correct tool or you're using this method here, what you want to do is you want to go about midway on the track. You want to go about right there between your bogey wheels here and set your weight, or use the tool and push down on it right here. So using my ruler at a quick glance here, and we're going to the bottom of the Hyfax, you can see that it's at about 2 3/4. So this track has to come up quite a ways, which is obvious because I backed it off. So I'm going to go on each side and I'm going to tighten, and I'm probably going to do 1 2 3 and then go over there, do 1 2 3. Anytime you're doing a track tension, you're also doing a track alignment. You're trying to make sure that it's even on both sides. The two, they go hand in hand. So I got my 10 millimeter. I just did 3 on the other side. Now I do 3 full ones here, and I go back and forth. I'll probably do 2 on each side, come back, and then I'll measure here. So the big thing with track alignment is obviously that they're aligned on both the same side. So what you can do is you can do a quick little, with these lugs here and your Hyfax sliders, you can try and put your finger in here and just see if they're too close, if they're consistent along the edge here. But another thing you can do is you can take a ruler and you can butt it up against your Hyfax and go to the very end of your track. So here I'm just ever so slightly 1/8 of an inch shy of 2.5. So now I'll go to the same side. So I went we'll go right off that lug there, just below that bar. And we'll do the exact same to the other side. And we'll check. Okay, what do we got? We have, sorry for the shadow. So that's dead on. And you can do other reference points. You can go up here, you can go off your adjuster here, and you can compare it with the other side. Just know that if you have a gap, like if you have, say, too tight of a gap here and too wide of a gap there, that it's always opposing is how it works with these adjusters. So if I have too tight of a gap here and I want to open this gap and I want to close that gap, I would go to that adjuster and I would tighten it up, say 1 turn, 2 turns. And basically what it does is it pushes on that side, it pushes the axle and it aligns it. So it's always opposing. Just remember that. If you want to make an adjustment to this side, you always have to do it to the other side. So that's the big thing. I know it's kind of weird. At first, it's hard to wrap your head around, but once you understand it, you got it. Okay, let's do a final little summary. So when we want to do a load rating, whether we have the tools or we have the weights right here, according to the BRP manual, it's between 13 and 19 pounds of force. We use 16, and a lot of people do because it's a mid-grade, midway point. Your belt deflection is anywhere between 1 1/4 and 1 3/8. So it's up to you on what you use. Officially, BRP says about 1 1/4 inches. The big thing is that once you're done, once you get it aligned, because that's important, and once you get it set, lock your axles in at about 35 foot-pounds of torque, put your caps back in, and take it out for a run. When you come back, check it again, because it will change, and then adjust accordingly. Okay, everybody, I'm Armchair Engineer 85. Please like, comment, subscribe, send this video to anybody that may need it, and I'll see you on the next one.